is present. Councilmember Runenbaum is not. Councilmember Van Sant is present. Councilmember Young is present. Councilmember Crummell is present, and Mayor Moss.
Okay. This time, would you please stand and join me in a moment of silence, please? Thank you. And would you join me in the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Alicia, do we have any public comments?
No, sir.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is to approve the council minutes of September 22nd. Do we have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion that we approve the council minutes from September 22nd.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other questions? All in favor? Thank you. This time, we need to act on appointing a council member for place 2, and we'll allow City Secretary Alicia to administer the oath to Councilman Tyler Van Sant. Tyler, you want to go down the front?
Sure.
Raise your right hand and raise the stand, please.
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I, Tyler Van Sant, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of City of Willow Park, City Council Place 2 of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I forget not to stand. Cheese. Perfect.
Thank you.
When you can stand up, you can make it bigger.
Item number 3, to consider and act on a final plat of a replat of Lot 3, Block A, Crown Bluff Addition, City of Willow Park, Parker County, Texas. Miss Betty.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Our first two items all relate to the same property, and we can have discussion on both, but we'll need separate motions. This first item is a final plat of a replat of Lot 3. This is a 4.06 acre lot, and the owners propose to re-subdivide the property into Lot 3R1, which will be a 1.4 acre lot for future development, and then Lot 3R2 will be a 2.57 acre lot, which is proposed for development with extra space storage. Both of these lots are served by a single entrance. Rose, my clicker doesn't work.
Turn it off and on again.
Okay. Okay, it still doesn't. It just doesn't like me.
There we go.
I'm going to throw it. Thank you. There is an existing 24-foot entrance which will serve these two lots as well as Texas Hold. The entrance is already in place and will be extended along the western property line to service both lots. Their property will be served with city water, and there will be private sewage disposal systems, as we do not have sanitary sewer service in this area. This final plat meets the requirements of the city's subdivision ordinance and comes forth with a favorable recommendation from staff and the Planning and Zoning Commission. We have Jared Ernie with Kimley Horn, who is the engineer, and we have Sarah Norman representing the developer. If you have any questions of them, or I'd be happy to answer any regarding the staff report on the plat.
Do we have any questions for Betty? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the final plat of replat of Lot 3, Block A, Crown Bluffs Addition, City of Willow Park, Park County, Texas, located in the 4600 block of East Interstate Highway 20, Service Road South.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Item number 4, to consider and act on a site plan for a climate-controlled self-storage facility on Lot 3R2, Block A, Crown Bluff Addition, located in the 4600 block East Interstate 20 Service Road South. Ms. Betty?
Thank you, Mayor. This is the 2.57 acre lot, which is to be developed with a 96,600 square foot self-contained storage facility with a leasing office. The building will be 3 stories in height for an overall height of 40 foot, which is allowed within the I-20 overlay. There will be the shared entrance, as we talked about, and there will be a secondary access point for this lot on Bankhead Highway. The drive on the west side of the property will be 26 foot in width as it comes onto the property to meet fire code requirements and to facilitate access to the building. This will be a fully sprinkled building, so it will have fire protection throughout the building. As I said, it will be served from a 12-inch water main that is in the I-20 service road for both domestic and fire protection for water service. And then there will be a private sewage disposal system to service this building. A stormwater drainage study has been submitted, and the on-site detention will be provided in accordance with city regulations. You can see the on-site detention pond on the east side of the property. The developer is proposing a landscape barrier for the property along the east side, adjacent to the residential zone property, which is undeveloped at this time. The topography of this land with the existing trees and the landscape buffer would serve in lieu of a screening fence and would be natural vegetation. So both the commission and staff is recommending that this be approved adjacent to the detention pond. All the parking and loading spaces are on the west side of the building adjacent to the Holt Cap property. So you won't have parking on that east side for the undeveloped property. They're proposing 14 parking spaces with a loading area, and that will service the leasing office as well as the storage facility. All of the storage facilities we have at this time are all single where you pull up, but this will be an enclosed facility, so there will be a loading and unloading area, as well as the parking spaces. This comes forth with a favorable recommendation with the landscape barrier from both staff and the Planning and Zoning Commission, and that was a unanimous recommendation from the commission. You have the elevations within your packet, and as I said, you also have that landscaping plan. Mr. Ernie is here with Kimley Horn, and then Sarah Norman is also here if you have any questions, or I would be happy to answer those regarding the staff report.
One thing I didn't see is how deep do they think the retention pond is going to be?
It'll be up max about 4 foot.
Okay.
And it'll be a swale, kind of a soft bank to it.
Okay, any other questions for Betty? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the site plan for self-contained storage facility with offices.
Second.
We have a second? Okay,
Second.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Any other questions? All in favor? Thank you. Item number 5, to consider and act on a revised site plan for recreational vehicle sales and service on Lot 1R1, Block A, Crown Bluff Addition, City of Willow Park, Parker County, Texas, located at 4400 East Interstate 20 Service Road South. Ms. Betty?
Thank you, Mayor. This is a revised site plan. The two primary revisions to the site development plan are The easement for the water line, which is on the east side of the driveway, in the original site plan, it was actually located under the drive. So it wouldn't be under concrete. They're moving it to the east to get out from under the pavement of the driveway. The second revision is that they will be placing asphalt in lieu of concrete for the 16,000 square foot of display area that is at the front of the property. You can see that, everything that is now in the darker gray. And then also the driveway and parking spaces that are around the building, which you can see the building toward the middle of the property. Those are they're proposing to replace the concrete with asphalt in that area. And we are still needing the exterior lighting plan, which will be submitted with the building permit. That was one of the requirements from the original approval of the site plan, and that will need to be submitted and approved prior to us issuing a construction permit for the building. This comes forth with a favorable recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission with the lighting plan to be submitted with the building permit application. Fire department has reviewed this, and they still have their primary access in the area, so they are agreeable to this. And Mr. Michael Thomas is here representing the developer if you have any questions.
We feel like the substitution for asphalt, for the concrete, meets all the requirements.
It
The
does,
city.
the ordinance does allow for the asphalt, and I believe you had said it would be 6 inches of base with,
I don't recall exactly what the pavement
I think
section
it's
is on it.
pavement
It's,
sections showed 6 and 6.
Yeah, it's 4-inch HMAC, like a 4-inch.
I thought it was 6-inch base, is it?
Yeah, I think it's 6 inch.
It's 6-inch
Yeah.
base,
Yeah,
4
6
inches
inch.
of asphalt.
But it is per the geotechnical requirements from the geotechnical report that was done, so there was a structural number evaluated for it based on the traffic and loading of the HMAC pavement out there, so it is designed in accordance with those requirements.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Betty?
And Betty, this is similar to the adjacent property right there that we did allow the asphalt on.
We did on Hope Cat.
Correct.
First rental. Yeah, it can with the larger equipment, obviously in the summer when you get larger pieces of maneuvering in there, the asphalt tends to move. So it will require some maintenance on their part.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And I just wanted to add to that, yes, I mean, asphalt over time, it will require maintenance, but at the city's request, if there's an issue or problem with it, under the city ordinance, the city just has to notify you when they need to maintain the pavement, so that they can go back in there and update it if they need to.
Okay. Do we have a motion, please?
I'll move that we approve the revised site plan for RV sales and service with contingent upon the lighting plan being submitted with the building permit application.
Second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Item number 6, to consider and act on a resolution designating the official newspaper of the City of Willow Park for the fiscal year 2020-2021. Mr. Grimes.
Since this is our first meeting of the fiscal year, we need to designate an official paper of record. I did ask the city attorney if we could have a secondary paper to provide notice. Pat, correct me if your opinion's changed in the last hour or so, but we have to have a paper of record. I left it blank. We're going to go at the discretion of council on this. We have traditionally, for a number of years, advertised in the community news. But the Weatherford Democrat has expressed interest as well. Staff's recommendation would be to continue the relationship with the community news. Though, Pat, I do have a question. The Democrat publishes twice a week. Could we still fulfill our obligations if the need arised to publish in the Democrat?
Well, since you're a general law city, it says you shall appoint or designate an official paper, so You only get one bite at the apple. So this will be your official newspaper that you'll have to follow.
Okay. The biggest difference is the Democrat publishes twice a week. The Community News publishes, is it 4 times? Excuse me, 4 times a week. But hard publication is 2, right? Yeah. So for purposes of public notice, it publishes twice a week, where the Community News publishes once.
Do we know what days of the week those are?
Weatherford Democrat publishes on Saturday and
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Tuesday and hard.
The
Yes.
print editions.
Yeah, Tuesday and Saturdays.
And then Friday is the community news print edition.
Yes.
I think the community news is, it's our local paper. And I agree that, my opinion is we stay with community news.
Yeah, and that's staff's recommendation as well.
I agree.
Do we have a motion?
I will make do we have a resolution number? Do I need that?
It's resolution number 20-12.
Yeah.
20-12. I will make a motion to approve Resolution 20-12, a resolution of the City of Willow Park, Texas, designating the Community News as a primary official newspaper for the City of Willow Park. And everywhere in that resolution where it says insert paper of record, we insert the Community News.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Item number 7, to consider and act on approving holiday schedule.
This is, let me pull this up real quick. This is the same holiday schedule we've had in the past. Obviously, the dates have changed depending on the holiday. This is the same holiday schedule we've had for the past couple of years, and we recommend, there's a typo in your staff memo. It's actually for 20 and 21. But this will be the same holiday schedule we've had in the past.
Okay.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the city holiday schedule for the year 2020 to 2021.
Second? We have a second?
Second?
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Item number 8, act on a resolution authorizing the transfer of funds received by the city from the CRF in an amount not to exceed $47,000 to the Aledo Independent School District for the purchase of technology devices to be used by the district. Mr. Grimes.
A couple of weeks ago, we were approached by Aledo ISD to see if there would be an appetite from the council to redirect part of our CARES Act funding to Aledo ISD. They have a unique opportunity from the TEA to have a matching program, whereas it's a dollar-for-dollar match. So if we do the $47,000, they would be able to obtain $47,000 from the TEA. Consulted with Pat last week. There's a number of cities that have done this before, previously as this CARES funding comes out. We are designated to receive roughly $300,000 in CARES funding, and so we would be diverting $47,000 to Aledo ISD. The caveat on that, and I think the most pertinent term is Section 2 of the resolves. In applying for grants under CRF program, the City Council hereby directs and authorizes the city administrator to act pursuant to. Oh wait, that's the wrong resolution.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. I'm sitting there going, wow.
I caught that, Pat. I really did.
While I'm scrolling through to find the correct resolution, I want to tell you that this is brand new funding from the federal government. So there's really no way, this is unique. We're breaking new ground here. So we don't know how this all will play out specifically. But the caveat that we have is that the transfer of the CRF money made by the city are made to the AISD with the express understanding that AISD shall only use the funds for permissible purposes under the CRF. And in the event that the CRF does not approve the expenditures by the AISD shall repay the city for the expenditure or portion thereof that is not permissible expenditure under the CRF. In other words, they have,
Page 90.
Yeah, it's page 90.
It's page 90 of the.
yeah, I got it. I
That helps you.
was looking at the one that gave us the money. They have to use the money accordingly to the CRF. If they don't, they will they'll be forced to refund that money back to us. Dr. Susan Bone, Superintendent of Aledo ISD, is here. Do you have any comments or?
I just wanted to quickly thank you for considering this. Thank you, Mayor Moss and Mr. Grimes and all of you on the council. The other thing I wanted to let you know, which I think is important because there's a narrative out there that is false, is that we have received no federal funding as a school district. No school districts in the state of Texas have, other than a supplant of state revenue. So we received about $230,000. That was revenue we were supposed to get from the state anyway. So the state took the federal funds, withheld revenue that we were supposed to get in an amount of $230 and gave that money to us. And that's how all public school districts in the state of Texas have been impacted thus far with respect to funds. There is some CRF funding that we can get a reimbursement for at about a 75% rate from the state that we have applied for. It's a very minimal period of time between March and May, which is while we were closed. Now we're fully operational. Looking at this tonight is allowing us to, we believe, keep our economy going in our county, and particularly in Willow Park and in Aledo ISD. We will next week be at a 94% of our students in person on campus. And so we really do believe that we're giving all of us the opportunity to get back to work and in a safe way carry on, and most importantly, of course, serve our kids. So we just really appreciate the partnership that you all have with us and that we have with y'all in serving our, particularly our children, but for sure the entire county and city of Willow Park.
Thank you.
So I just want to say thanks.
Thank you.
And sorry, I know he's
You're
got
good.
a short time leash. Try as fast as I could.
Do we have a motion?
Quick question, Pat, what is the resolution number on this?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just gave it to you, Pat.
We just did 2012, so it should be 2013?
Yes.
No,
No?
it's gonna be
Let's see.
2011. No,
No, that's the bridge. 2012 is the community news. 2010.
I can't see.
Yes.
20-2010?
2020-10.
2020.
Yeah, it's 2020.
The caption of the resolution, I don't, is it in your packet? I didn't.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it.
Okay,
I
all
got
right.
it.
Page
Good,
90,
good.
we have it.
Good.
Mayor Moss, as a Aledo graduate, it gives me honor to make a motion to approve Resolution 2020-10, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Willow Park authorizing the transfer of coronavirus relief funds received by the City of Willow Park pursuant to the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act in the amount of $47,000.
Thank you, Eric. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Thank you, Dr. Bond.
Thanks, Susan.
Thank you.
Item number 8, to consider an act on authorizing the city engineer to revise the TWDB CWSF SRF preliminary engineering report to show the Willow Park Baptist Church property as the preferred site for the new wastewater treatment plant. Derek?
Real quick, council members, in your packets, we had the agenda item that went out in the packet was never revised from what actually went on the agenda. The intent is and I'll let Derek get into it. The intent is we're going to amend the PER to designate the new site as the preferred site for the wastewater treatment plant.
Right.
Yeah.
So the reason this is coming up is because your application for funding through the Texas Water Development Board, which was submitted back in June, has been under review. It's a fairly lengthy process. Part of that process is, at some point, the TCEQ makes an evaluation of the recommended project, and they go through a series of determinations, and then they make a recommendation back to the Water Development Board. I let them know that there was very likely going to be a change to the site, and when I did that, they basically put everything on hold, because the TCEQ would not go forward until that was settled. So as it stands right now, that application is sitting on hold at the Water Development Board, waiting for this determination. So it's, as Brian mentioned, it's a approval for me to change the engineering report and resubmit it to them to show a preferred site. This is still preliminary engineering phase. So at some point in time, if something changed, you still would have the opportunity to modify it. But they would go forward with that change. So,
this is to get the application moving.
correct.
Yep.
Yep.
That's pretty much essentially what it is. I will revise our document, the preliminary engineering report, and it'll show that the church site is the preferred location for the treatment plant. Pretty much the rest of the document will stay the same, so
Okay,
that's about it.
all right. Thanks, Derek. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. First, I'd like to thank Mayor Dewell Moss, the board of the Willow Park Baptist Church, and Dr. Clark Bozier for their leadership on this. And I'd like to make a motion to amend the preliminary engineering report, the proposed land swap with the Willow Park Baptist Church for 8.6 acres of land to be utilized as a wastewater treatment facility in exchange for the existing 6.35 acre wastewater plant site, and authorize our city engineer to revise the TWDB CW SRF preliminary engineering report to show the Willow Park Baptist Church property as a preferred site for the new wastewater treatment plant.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Who's spoke?
Discussion, in that motion was approval of the land swap, which we are not,
no,
actually don't have the land swap.
No.
Did your motion include the approval of the proposed land swap?
Okay, let me,
Can I amend the motion to only include, I propose to amend the motion to only include authorizing the city engineer to revise the preliminary engineering report? Is
Correct.
Yes.
okay.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd like
Thank
to
you.
amend the motion to remove the approval of the land swap and include, authorize the city engineer to revise the preliminary engineering report.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion, we have a revised second. Any other discussion, questions?
Do we need a motion on the amendment? We've got a motion on the, we've got an amendment, we need a second on the amendment.
I'll second that one as well.
Okay, so now
Okay.
we have a motion amendment. Oh, we got to
We have
vote
to vote on
on,
the amendment and then
All right.
the original.
Okay, where are we?
We're going to vote on the amendments.
vote on the amendment.
Okay. No other discussion or questions? All in favor? Thank you.
Now we vote on the motion for the revised.
Yeah.
So we need a motion for the revised.
We just need to vote on it,
We just need to vote on the original.
All in favor of the original? Good Lord have
the
mercy.
amended.
Thank you. I'd like to echo Eric's Willow Park Baptist Church. Thank you for Clark Bozier and all your help. Item number 10, to consider and act on a request for waiver of local match participation requirement on federal off-system bridge program project.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. I'll give you a brief history of Kingsgate Bridge. Some people may have thought that this kind of fell under the TERS agreement as far as the replacement when Kingsgate Road was to be reconstructed. It doesn't, it excluded. So Brian and myself were searching for financing opportunities, and with meeting our district office, TxDOT office, we came up and identified or was told about a program through TxDOT to fix off-system bridges, meaning not on their system, if you will. So we went ahead and made our contacts with TxDOT and realized that our bridge on Kingsgate is eligible for this program. And so you have to do 10% matching funds, and it could be a project of, and I think in particular, one of the projects was qualified for it was our drainage improvement that we did on Ranch House Road last year. So we've already met the 10% required, which was the 97,260. It's in your packet. So you're looking at a bridge under completion about 970,000 that TxDOT's going to build for us, and we've already taken the funds that we spent on the drainage project, and we can use that for our matching fund. So we are in the program if we adopt this resolution tonight that's in your packet. So that's the short version of it. I'd be happy to answer any questions that anyone would have pertaining to that.
I got a question, Bernie, on paragraph 6 on the resolution. It says the county judge will be authorized to execute the agreement.
Yeah, it will be the
Mayor.
Should say.
right, and we changed that, but I guess I didn't get the right document in, so but it will say not the county judge but the mayor.
So you said TxDOT has us, this project should be in their queue of
Correct.
projects?
Right. Once we adopt this resolution and get it back to them, our system, our bridge, we put on their docket to be replaced by TxDOT, a brand new bridge.
Okay.
2023?
We were told 2025, but as far as it could be moved up. So I don't have an exact number yet, date, but it's 2025 is the first one I was given.
They haven't done any design or cost estimates at this point?
Cost estimate they came up with our 10%.
Right.
They did a projection of 900 or 90% more than what that 10% matching thing
Okay,
is.
but we feel comfortable that our matching, that we're good.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Mr. Turner, our city engineer, has reviewed it, and so
Okay.
this is part of their program. And Derek, I don't know if you want to say anything else about it, or?
Well, just real quick to that point, the storm drainage work we did on Ranch House was $267,000. So even if the budget goes up.
Goes up to
you
$2
should be
million?
safe.
We could get a $2 million bridge?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, do we have a motion? Is there a resolution number on this?
Yeah.
It is 2020-11.
Do we have a motion?
Is there a caption for that resolution? 'Cause that's-
Yeah, right here.
As far as,
And-
Pat, all they have to do is say that resolution that was up as far as in the header about request to adopt the,
Caption of that ordinance, yes, sir.
It's on this.
It is, okay.
That's the caption.
I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 2020-11, whereas the Federal Off-System Bridge Program is administered by the Texas Department of Transportation, the state, to replace or rehabilitate structurally deficient and functionally obsolete, collectively referred to as deficient bridges, located on public roads and the streets of designated highway system. And there's an and, but I don't think it needs to be there. Does that work for you, Pat?
Yes. ma'am.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion or questions for Bernie? All in favor? Thank you. Item number 11, to consider a water facility easement and a temporary construction easement with Boswell Interest LTD to construct a water line across property known as Boswell Ranch in the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction. Mr. Grimes.
So this is part of the Fort Worth Water Project. Do we have a map? So the easement's going to go from, there's an elevated storage tank that's a couple of miles north of I-20. You guys can probably see it, that City of Fort Worth just built it. In that vicinity, we are going to connect with the City of Fort Worth, and the easement will travel south through the City of Fort Worth, but then it'll tend to come into our ETJ over by the ridge line. Derek, can you kind of show them?
This is the Boswell you're talking about?
Yes, the Boswell.
So that's going to start at the ETJ line, which is roughly right in here. This is Tricia Lane. And it's going to run all the way up to just behind the commercial businesses that are on El Chico, and then run up to the backside of the properties that front Scenic.
Yep.
So basically this stretch right here.
And we have, and we can probably do both these agenda items, I'll do them separately, but we got the easement, that's the easement, the first agenda item, you would approve that easement with the Boswell Ranch. And then the second agenda item is the water service agreement, and we can get into that in the next agenda item. But the first one, it would be to approve that water line easement with the Boswell Ranch.
Do we have a motion?
And what's your question?
Nope.
Okay. Toast has been working on this easement with the ranches for a number of months. The mayor and I met with them in April.
I think so.
And so here we are in October, just now getting the easement done. The city of Fort Worth is going to adopt a similar agreement at next week's meeting. Obviously, it'll be in their ETJ and not ours, but it'll be a similar agreement.
Okay.
Pat,
I'm sorry?
Did you have any issues or anything with the agreement for the
No,
easement?
no, I've reviewed it.
Sorry, I moved away from my microphone. I'll make a motion that we approve the water facility easements and temporary construction easements with Boswell interests.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Item number 12 is the second part, to consider a water service agreement with Boswell Interest Ltd. to provide water to property known as Boswell Ranch in the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction after it is annexed in exchange for the granting of the water facility easement.
So part of the easement agreement it will be that we would supply the ranch or that area of the ranch with up to 600,000 gallons of water a day. However, the caveats to that are they will have to pay for the water at the same rate as other water customers. They would have to be annexed into the city, and they would have to put the infrastructure in to connect to our system. So it's going to work very similar to a developer's agreement, but the ranches were hesitant about calling it a developer's agreement. The 600,000 a day guarantee has been calculated into 3.5 that we need as well. Essentially, they can't get the water until they get annexed and they develop it. And at that point, they're going to be in the city, and we're going to be responsible for giving it to them anyway. We're going a long way around of saying it's a moot point,
But this doesn't take away any capacity from our citizens and the people of Willow Park.
this has been calculated into our build out.
Okay.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the water service agreement with Boswell interests.
Second?
Second.
Any other questions? All in favor? Thank you. Item number 13, deliberation of acquisition of real property for Fort Worth water line.
And at this point, Mr. Mayor, I'd ask that we go into executive session.
We're going to executive session at 7:40 PM.
Read the.